Who want one last trip to the long trail?
Right now, Tekken is in a very weird place, and I don't want this video to be like a super negative rant. I was going to rant hard, and who knows, maybe in 5 minutes I'll be popping off like crazy, but you know, at the start of this video I really don't want to do that. I just want to talk about where Tekken 8 is at, and first what I want to acknowledge is where Tekken 7 ended. Tekken 7 ended. You can say whatever you want about the balancing. I always talk about the pay-to-win DLC that plagued that game. But regardless of all of that, the game did incredible things. It resurrected the entire Tekken game. Like, it almost died in Tekken Tag Tournament 2. And with going into Tekken 8, there was a endless amount of hype and excitement. More evidence to that is that Tekken 8 had 1 million pre-orders before the game like released. Like day one, 1 million copies sold. That's all the pre-orders, right? So you could just see how much excitement was there in the game when it first launched. And now you fast forward, I don't know, what were you, like 8 months, 9 months out of the release, and a very weird thing is happening. A lot of the content creators are jumping ship. Some are flat out quitting Tekken 8. Everywhere you look, it seems like people are just moving and gravitating over to Street Fighter 6, and it results in that game having 4 million copies sold. And when everyone looks back on Tekken 8, we are waiting for change. You know, the developers, they said they aren't going to change the balancing of this game until Season 1 ends. And that's like November, December. So we got like 4 months of overpowered Yoshimitsu, overpowered Dragunov, Nina, Fang, Shahid. And then we'll see something new, right? And even if you don't talk about individual characters, because something that's difficult for me is to distinguish whether or not it's the character that's doing crazy things or it's the way that the game is designed. You can blame a character like Dragunov for hitting when you're trying to stand up, but I think it's more so a product of what Tekken 8 does and allows and is, right? If you look at the actual frame data and you compare a move to Tekken 7 to Tekken 8, you'll see in Tekken 7 the move that you do might have been minus there, where in Tekken 8 it gives plus frames, and it also rotates the opponent's body in some unfavorable position. So there's a lot of like minute details like that in Tekken 8 that just makes like defending yourself or trying to fight back very obnoxious. And characters who can really like fight back and fight back hard, like a Yoshimitsu or something like that, players feel it brutally, right? His flash is one of the most talked about moves in the whole game currently, and that's because of how defensive it is, how stop, don't touch me the move is, right? And you know, the whole point is basically that there's a lot of crazy stuff happening in the game with heat, with characters, with balancing, with bugs, glitches, and then you can even talk about monetization. And all of this is just creating this weird aura around the game that at the start had nothing but positive things going for the game. This game, like I said, it sold 1 million copies day one. Everyone expected great things. But here we are months later, scratching our heads, wondering what's going on. Now, I did do a poll asking you guys whether or not you wanted to you still play the game, and I did that poll because it was recommended to me. Someone wanted to see, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll host that poll. And the majority of people says yes. And even though I do play it from time to time, I am kind of losing like motivation, but I think that's more so because of like Yoshimitsu and how easy it is. I don't really feel a challenge there. But regardless of like my personal experience, a lot of people are still playing the game and they still like the game. And I don't think Tekken 8 is dying per se, but I think it's losing a lot of its hype. It's not growing, basically. You know, in the world of like stocks and like investments, if you're not growing, you are dying, right? So that's an argument you can make for Tekken 8 as well. But with all of this stuff going on, you know, Harada doesn't really say much. When the game was first out and everyone was saying great things about the game, having fun and whatnot, Harada was talking a lot on Twitter. As things turned sour, Harada and Michael Murray, they kind of calmed down in everything that they were saying. You can argue whether or not they're just cranking out, you know, these updates trying to fix the game. They're locking in, right? Or they're just, you know, they see where the community is at and they're not really like, you know. But there was one player. The point is, there was one player who was, you know, voicing their opinions, their criticisms to Harada. And Harada responded to that person with a block. Boom, you're blocked. This person tweets out, apparently pointing out Tekken's trash monetizations is wrong. Someone else quote tweets this and says, everyone interacting with this tweet is either stupid or gaslighting themselves into thinking microtransactions are okay. This is not okay. This is delusion. You shouldn't have to pay to see your character in a costume that was free in Tekken 6. Y'all ride this man to the bank. So I don't want to talk. I've been talking a lot about monetization, quite recently on this channel, because I really stand against it a lot. I really don't like the idea of these billion-dollar corporations trying to nickel and dime us at every instance. But for the people who do say, like, why does it matter? Just don't buy it. Just don't buy it. Who cares? The thing that I say in response to that is that people bought this game, right? You pay $70 to $80 up to basically like $300 if you bought the collector's edition. The ultimate edition is like $150, I think, at max. I think I saw a price of $2, but my mind's a little fuzzy. But the point is, people paid a lot of money for this game, full price for this game. And when you pay for full price games, there's certain expectations there. But Tekken 8 is currently operating as a free-to-play game, and that's not what people pay for, right? You pay full price to get rid of all of the in-game advertisements, to get rid of all of the greedy monetization. I think if you take a game like Black Myth Wukong, it's a perfect example of paying full price for a game and just getting the full experience. Elden Ring is another one, right? You buy the game and the whole game is there. There is no, okay, we're going to take out all of these outfits or character archetypes and we're going to nickel and dime you every 2 months. I think that's the thing that players are, because, for the people who say, why do you care? You have to understand that the developers took a lot out of this game so they could sell it back. Players have a certain expectation when they put down a certain amount of money. And when the developers, after the reviews, after the sales go live, after all of the congratulations is sent out, when they turn on monetization, how can you be against people for speaking up? Because what you have to understand as well is that the developers put a lot of their effort and resources into monetizations. They said they will patch bugs and glitches, but we are witnessing simple bugs and glitches exist for months. Slow-mo's being broken, rage arts being broken. Simple things are broken for months. And the only thing they're willing to change and address and add to is the shop monetization. And then this also brings up the topic of the loot boxes, or some people believe it's lucky boxes. I was talking with the stream, and we were really processing the idea of whether or not it's a loot box or it's a lucky box. Now, the reason why I personally can't comprehend that box, that crate, to be a lucky box is simply because for it to be a lucky box, it would have to be free items put into there. But all of us who play this game regularly have billions of coins that are pretty much useless. And if there was something that we really wanted in the free item section, we could go and use our millions and millions of coins to buy that. So adding a loot box in the game that gives that to us for free with an unlock is kind of redundant and not necessary. The only thing you can put in there that has real value is something that is paid. Now, there was someone in the chat who came up with a very interesting idea, and so far I think this is the most realistic thing they will do. But basically, the loot boxes could be something you earn for free simply by playing the game, and there's free stuff in there. So let's say they put, a free hat, a paid hat, a paid shirt, a paid item. And you just, grind these loot boxes and you get, a paid item for free. So instead of paying with money, you're paying with time to get a paid cosmetic. Now, that's a really good prediction as to what this will be. We'll probably hear about it in 1 to 2 weeks. I don't want to make a lot of negative ranting videos, but I do realize, one, it's kind of necessary, but two, to what end? For those of you who was subscribed to the channel for a couple of years, you would know that during the course of Tekken 7, I made a lot of videos ranting about the DLC. And when you look at how that game turned out in terms of balancing, it was horrible. And as I look across Tekken 8, I see the same thing happening right now, where there's a lot of garbage going on, and my gut reaction is to talk trash about it. And I kind of have been doing that, but I don't want to continue doing that, right? With Tekken 7, I tried that, I did that, and it went nowhere. It was still chaos at the end of the day, and the chaos is continuing in Tekken 8. I feel like the only thing that I can do is just do something else.